Jesus speaks candidly about this in Matthew 23. You guys are constructing this whole system so you could have wiggle room in what you say. The religious leaders, and can I say ourselves, were compartmentalizing their lives. They were creating spaces where they would invite God into and keep God out of. What's interesting to me is the Greek word for oath actually means fence. To create an area of restraint. I fear, like the religious leaders, I myself set up fences, create spaces where I do not invite God into. For instance, my family, right? I invite God into my family. Come in here, raise my kids. But have you ever heard of someone saying, but you know, I'm going to put a fence around my business, around my work. I'm going to put a fence around my finances, and God, you're not allowed in there. You're not allowed right there. God, I give you my Sunday. I'm here on Sunday. This day is all for you. But the rest of the week, I'm putting a fence around. This is for me. I'm compartmentalizing, creating spaces where God is not invited into. And that's what the Pharisees and religious leaders were doing. They were creating this language where they were keeping God out of, and a certain other language where they were inviting God into. Jesus destroying that idea, again in verses 34, 35, and 36 of Matthew. He says, you want to swear by heaven? You think that's going to keep God out of your language? Well, that's his throne. You want to swear by earth? That's going to keep God out of it? That's his footstool. Oh, you're going to swear by Jerusalem? Okay, that's going to keep it out. No, he's the king of that city. You want to swear by your own head? Who do you think you are? You can't even make one hair turn white or black. Jesus was saying there is no space you can create to keep God out of. He is above all and in all. There's no fence you can build high enough that God can't jump right over and be right in the middle of. And so he's just blowing through this idea. The Pharisees had set up this whole system. I found this quote in my studies by William Barclay, a great Bible commentator. He says this: life cannot be divided into compartments, in some of which God is allowed, and in others of which he's not allowed. There cannot be one kind of language in the church and another kind of language in the office. The fact is that God does not need to be invited into certain departments of life and kept out of others. He's everywhere, all through life, in every activity of life. He hears not only the words which are spoken in his name, he hears all words. What a great quote from William Barclay. Shame on us for creating these fences, creating these spaces where we say, God, this is how I behave today. This is what you're allowed to come into, but this area, you're not allowed to come in. And that's what they had been doing, and that's what Jesus was destroying and speaking into.